Welcome to HES Talks, and today we decided to have a talk based on your questions you put in the comments and sent on Instagram. After the series growth versus grades, and we were really happy to get a very difficult questions, but actually these questions, they give us, I would say, that kind of support, because actually these questions we asked ourselves before shifting to different ways of reimagining how the assessment system can be transformed. I'm not speaking about just, you see, kind of modifications. I'm speaking about transformation. So, and all the fears, all the doubts regarding that, because actually the whole education system initially and right now currently is just based on assessment. So whatever, any educational institution you enter, the main expectation from this, from parent side, from teacher side, it's about how much will I get, in terms of grades. 100%, 70%, or whatever, everywhere. These numbers, they just, you see, chase us, and it's very difficult. The whole psychology of our humanity is based on that. So we're just so attached, and we're so dependent psychologically deep inside on external validation given as numbers. So we are totally lost as individuals. So that's why now we are starting. So today we have even not our guest, this is our co-host. Together we work on this microphone. So Kamal Mangal, founder of Anand, Niketan group of schools, so many years in education, in innovative digital. And Kanika, she is academic coordinator of the classes first and fourth grade, where we started holistic education program. So she will guide us through the questions and we will answer.
All right, so I'll start with the first question that came to us from Devrishi. He says, growth is inevitable, but at times, delayed, paused, or sometimes even disoriented growth happens. So is there any other way, other than numbers, to navigate and guide someone's growth without any grading or any sort of measurements?
Yes, definitely. Now, I'm very hopeful that about AI. After AI, I feel that without grading, what is the grading? First, we question the what present education system is. कि एक ही क्वेश्चन पे मुझे 10 बच्चों को पूछ के पूरी क्लास पे 100 बच्चों को पूछ के उसको एक लेवल देते हैं, वो भी डिफरेंट इंटरवल में देते हैं. उससे हमें ये पता लगता है कि ये बच्चे सबके कंपैरिजन में क्या किया, नहीं कि इस बच्चे ने अपना डेवलप किया या नहीं किया, ये हमें नहीं मालूम पड़ता है. इस बच्चे ने कंपैरिजन में क्या किया, जो इंफॉर्मेशन दी गई थी उसको उसने गिवन टाइम में रिप्रोड्यूस किया पाया, नहीं कर पाया. पर हमें क्या चाहिए, बच्चे ने ग्रोथ कहाँ की. एक्चुअल में एज ए पेरेंट, एज ए टीचर, हमको क्या चाहिए, बच्चे की ग्रोथ हो. पर इस ग्रेडिंग सिस्टम से ग्रोथ की जगह थप्पा लग जाता है बच्चे के, पर हम उस थप्पे से उसको आगे भेज देते हैं नेक्स्ट क्लास में, मतलब 60% पे या 80% पे. तो जो गैप कैरी ऑन होता जाता है, इसलिए प्रेशर और ग्रीड और फियर बढ़ता जाता है बच्चे में. सो आई अब ऐसा सिस्टम अगर हम डेवलप करते हैं जिस सिस्टम के कारण उसको फियर और ग्रीड डेवलप ना हो और उसको पता भी चले वेयर आई है. तो मुझे बहुत अच्छा एग्जाम्पल क्या पुट करता है कि एक बच्चा जब गेम खेलता है उसके ऊपर, अपने मोबाइल फोन के ऊपर, तो वो बहुत कम समय में बहुत आगे बढ़ जाता है. तो उसकी साइकोलॉजी क्या होती है, उस गेम में जो ही वो नहीं कर पाया तो पीछे जाने का उसको होता है, और कर पाया तो आगे जाने का मिलता है. तो ये फीडबैक हमेशा उसको 24/7 अवेलेबल रहता है जब भी वो काम करता है. हमारे सिस्टम में वो एग्जाम कर देगा 1 महीने बाद, फिर एग्जाम देने के बाद 20 दिन बाद कोई फीडबैक आएगा, जब तक नया चैप्टर आ जाएगा या नंबर मिलेंगे, तो उस पर करेक्शन का मौका ही नहीं मिलता है. अब AI आने के बाद मेरी क्लास में 3 लेवल के बच्चे हैं, तो तीनों लेवल के बच्चों को पेपर सेम टॉपिक पे मिल सकता है, उसको अपनी ग्रोथ को मेजर कर सकता है और करेक्शन भी मेजर कर सकता है। टीचर करेक्शन कब तक कराएगी? तो ये जो असेसमेंट के लिए we can use AI too. So this is the alternative, very good alternative for assessment, which we are trying and we're using in our schools. For अभी pilot position पे भी are using, but we definitely use it in the sense.
What I would like to add, because the question was about that growth is inevitable, right? And are there any other ways to measure growth? The key point here to understand that growth is dynamic. We move. If we just under our grading system, it is based on static, result-oriented, criteria. But if we shift criteria from result-oriented, whether the child answered all, let's say, 10 questions out of 10, and or we just to shift our attention and the process of evaluation to the process of learning. And this is a dramatical shift, because in this case you will not just see the result, you will see the nature of process of learning. Because I believe that the whole education system right now, and actually always, education system needs to give a person tools to live their life, their full potential, to express, to create fully. This is why this life is given to us. Not to follow someone else, but to be that authentic, to follow. But what are these truths? We need to understand how to follow. First of all, we need to accept that we're present, we have our own uniqueness, we have our own life and our own understanding, feelings, whatever. We need to accept our presence. And at this, the first level of assessment, it is not here in our traditional now, existing current education system. Presence is not allowed. You're just, a participant of a kind of presentation where you need to give afterwards some ready-made answers. So first level, because now I'm perhaps already speaking about that, how we're shifting. First, presence. We need to focus to give a child presence at different levels, emotional, thoughts, expression, and different. When this presence is allowed, we start including reflection. Reflection is very important, shifting from external evaluation and assessment through grades. It is external, someone else knows better who I am. And it creates this psychological twist that we do not trust ourselves. We do not understand ourselves, we are lost. And if we start introducing reflection every day in our schools since early childhood, so that everyone can understand and develop skills of reflection. It's not like just sit down and reflect. You need to understand from day to day what is your process, how you move. So this is very important. It is two things that we need to keep in mind. From external validation to inner reflection. And these are skills we need to train. They do not come just you see automatically whatever. They are not there. We need to develop these skills so that we can just free ourselves from the burden of waiting for someone else to accept us, to evaluate us. I don't know, because this is the whole, as adults, we are in that mode always. So perhaps I've already answered many of the questions.
Yeah, but it connects to some of our following questions. So one was, how do we prepare even adults? So only when adults or teachers know how to reflect will they be able to create that space for the children to reflect. That is one. Another thing, another question, because you speak about reflection in your series, was we have probably non-scientific ideas of what children are capable of or how much reflection young children, 5-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 6-year-olds are capable of. So how do we prepare adults for reflection? And what is the age where they can start to reflect upon their own actions?
Do you want?
reflection is we do daily in our life. A child to indirectly make reflection, not my eldest grandson is 3 years old. Whatever he do, he wants some approval.
This is the case, Kamal. Approval
But,
from
but
outside.
not approval. That is he could want approval. He want to enjoy whatever he doing. But he reflecting what he doing, he correcting every whatever he is doing. So here is important point is that in that age, when born and up to 3 or 5 year old, we are doing without fear and without judgment with our greed. For sake of doing we do, for knowledge we do. And we have when this system, we enter in the system and there is approval and all things going on, and external a person who validated, then we go to next class. Otherwise we go to next class. That where we killing his natural learning process.
Based on curiosity, and this is very important. Curiosity is built on this reflection. It is built in.
When we know what harm we are doing the child, or what harm we had made ourselves, we have also produced of this education system. Until and unless we not recognize what we lost, then we can't change the system. So, if I question myself or sitting here or you who are watching this, कि हमें क्या कर रहे हैं, सब सक्सेसफुल हैं, बड़े बड़े बिजनेसमैन बन गए, बड़े बड़े पद हमारे पास है, बड़े बड़े खिलाड़ी बन गए, तो हम सक्सेस नहीं है क्या? हम सब इसी सिस्टम से पढ़े हैं. तो अगर मैं सक्सेस को हैप्पीनेस से जोड़ता हूँ तो नहीं है, सम्मान से जोड़ता हूँ क्योंकि टेम्परेरी है. तो हमें ये देखना पड़ेगा सक्सेस और हैप्पीनेस दोनों साथ रह सकते क्या? हम सक्सेस के पीछे दौड़ रहे हैं या साथ में हैप्पीनेस लेके चल रहे हैं? सक्सेस गलत नहीं, सक्सेस की डेफिनेशन क्या है हमारी? किसी और से आगे निकलना, तो वो सक्सेस ना होके वो एक रेस हुई और मैं किसी पर्पज के लिए काम कर रहा हूं, तो वो हमारा सक्सेस हुई. भले वो पर्पज मिले या नहीं मिले एक लाइफ में, पर मैंने किसी पर्पज के लिए काम किया तो दूसरा मानव आके उस पर लग के उसको आगे बढ़ाएगा. कई साइंस रिसर्च पड़ी गई, आज जाके काम रहा है. जब रिसर्च तो रिसोर्सेस आ गए, उस टाइम रिसोर्सेस नहीं थे तो साइंस ने सोच के उसमें रख के चले गया पेपर. जब आज उस तरह के मीटर या उस तरह की टेक्नोलॉजी है तो उस पेपर पे आगे काम किए, आगे रिसर्च के आगे बढ़ रहा है. तो इट मीन्स उसका काम वेस्ट नहीं गया. हम सक्सेस को मांग रहे रिजल्ट थे, सक्सेस को मांगे पर्पस थे. तो ये शिफ्ट अगर हमने दे दिया एजुकेशन में, और करना ही चाहिए. कब दे पाएंगे? जब मैं समझूंगा मेरे में क्या करने लगी, मेरे में फियर और ग्रीड हो गया. और आज पुतिन हो या ट्रम्प हो, सब में फियर और ग्रीड है, तो पूरे विश्व का नुकसान कर सकते हैं. इसलिए मिलता है, वो भी तो किसी डिग्री कॉलेज से पढ़े हुए. ये जो सोच के हम आगे बढ़ेंगे, then we will change this education system. Otherwise, we are finding alternative, not the change the result. We want alternative assessment means the different type of grading. तो सीरियसली के लिए ग्रेड नहीं करने का है, फिर एक नंबर नहीं देने का ग्रेड दो. अब ग्रेड नहीं बंद हो गए, एग्जाम भी बंद रहेंगे, उससे सोल्यूशन नहीं होगा. जब तक पर्पस चेंज नहीं होगा एजुकेशन का, तो प्रोसेस चेंज नहीं होगा. प्रोसेस चेंज होगा तो यूनिटी नहीं बढ़ेगी. तो ये मतलब आपके क्वेश्चन तो हद के है, पर इनसाइड आवर ग्रेड एंड ग्रोथ. तो ग्रोथ किसको बोलेंगे, ये क्लियर करना पड़ेगा. शरीर तो अपने आप ग्रोथ हो ही जाती है. एक क्लास से दूसरी क्लास 40% लेके ग्रोथ हो जाती है. और हमारे घरों में मनी भी बढ़ती जाती है. तो किसको ग्रोथ बोला? मनी बढ़ गया, शरीर बढ़ गया, या डिग्री बढ़ गई, दैट इज ग्रोथ. क्वेश्चन है कि ग्रोथ, तो ग्रोथ अंटिल ग्रोथ डिसाइड नहीं होगी तो प्रोसेस कैसे डिसाइड होगी? अगर वो ग्रोथ माना तो उसके लिए तो बेस्ट सिस्टम है नंबर देंगे कि हम बिल्कुल 1000 की भीड़ को आइडेंटिफाई करके नंबर दे सकते हैं. दूसरा ये हो गया कि ये सिस्टम चल के और आगे तक, क्योंकि पोस्टेज कम, सीट्स कम होगी, लेने वाला ज्यादा गया, तो नंबर का और प्रेशर बढ़ गया है. पहले 60% लाता था तो कुछ था यूनिवर्सिटी टॉप हो गया था, अब 98 पे भी यूनिवर्सिटी टॉप होता है। तो ये जो सिस्टम बना, तो हमें सोचना चाहिए सिस्टम की नीड क्यों हुई है। अब बहुत अच्छा मौका है, क्योंकि अब इतने एवेन्यूज हो गए जिनमें इस डिग्री की जरूरत नहीं है, और अपनी लाइफ को वो अच्छी जी नहीं पा रहा है। गूगल ने भी कह दिया मुझे डिग्री नहीं जरूरत, मुझे स्किल्स चाहिए। तो ऑटोमेटिकली अभी ग्रोथ स्किल प्लस माइंडसेट से जुड़ेगी। होलिस्टिक मींस द माइंडसेट आल्सो बी accepted mindset to the values. Then we can really skill and intellect both development. Then मैं बनाना तो जान गया रॉकेट या ड्रोन, पर where I use I drone I don't know. Then I use drone for the fire war, युद्ध के लिए, और अधिकतर वही हो रहा है। जितनी भी साइंस की इनोवेशन का यूज हो रहा है अल्टीमेटली वहां। तो इसका मतलब हमने साइंस ने बनाया तो उसके लिए नहीं था, जब खोजा होगा किसी ने। तो साथ में विवेक भी जाना चाहिए, विज्ञान भी जाना चाहिए। तो विवेक का असेसमेंट कैसे हो, और बस
Actually, when you were talking about using drones for wars, I could connect that this person is looking for external validation, and maybe they need validation from government, who is also looking for external validation, maybe from people or industrialists who also need external validation from state. So I could see that chain of wanting external validation, and that is why, because I cannot think of people who intrinsically want to create mass carnage, mass destruction.
People recognize I am. So that if we success definition change to happiness and purpose, then this problem will solve.
And the main thing I'm trying to connect about language is one part, but I mean, as I understand, Vivek is wisdom, right? And we talk about wisdom. What is wisdom? Everything needs to be a question. This is why we have this HES talk. This is why we make reels, just to make you question some very, I would say, normal things, as if they are normal. Are they normal? Let's question. Let's say if wisdom is something that someone else gives you, it's again external. How to make this wisdom personalized and experienced, and to shift to experienced, to living experience. This is important. In order to make it so that we need to, I mean, I'm connecting to the question about what kind of spaces, what kind of people, because spaces, most of all in education, it's about not architecture only, it's about people working, right? What kind of people needs to create these spaces where this reflection, where these kind of values can be lived, not just lecture, it can be understood and just taken as, I would say, guiding points in our lives. Because I believe that education is not for exams. Education is to understand who you are, is understand where you move, what is your purpose, how you do that. This kind of understanding, so that you afterwards, when you finish your school, you should have skills and tools to navigate life, not just to find a job. Jobs will disappear. Current jobs will disappear soon, already disappearing. We don't know what will be in 10 years with AI. We live now in an absolute unpredictable stage, but what will be humans, hopefully? I mean, if we will not kill ourselves, and will not, just commit homicide by not, having these values in mind and killing everyone by weapons and all these kind of things. So we will be there. We will be. We don't know what will be around us. How to navigate your path, how to choose your path. Reflection is needed. And so I think, do we have another question? So
I would want to, yeah. So there are two parts of the question. One, what kind of adult, or how can we get teachers to become this reflective?
Okay, in this case, you see, we touched that point where students need to go for this reflection level. So the teachers also, because actually to change mindset is not easy. Absolutely not easy. When you create that space, everyone needs to change his mindset, where you as a teacher, you welcome different processes. You have, let's say, 30 kids in the class. 30 different processes, different types of combinations of interactions, because we introduce dialogue, we introduce developing social skills, because these are the skills you need in your life. So, and how to navigate them, how to give that freedom. So this is really a big challenge, and we do that because in our school we have created we allotted special time, and we have special questions, diaries for reflection, for teachers as well, to reflect, let's say, before entering the class, what should I focus at? Not on the chapter. It's not about completing the chapter. It's about how to navigate the dynamics of human interacting while learning, how to teach them how to learn, not just to give me the correct answers. So yes, it requires time, but we are on the way.
So one last question from Inspired Void. The question was, is there a working model for such a reflective space where instead of grading, the child is able to reflect upon their own growth and the teacher is able to reflect upon their own?
Actually, yes, this is an important question, and I'm prepared for that. Because I wanted just to read few things, because we have developed, in our school with holistic education system program, we have special time for being, for planning, and for reflecting. We have morning circles where children, they work in groups and they plan the whole day, the week, so that they can understand how they move. Because without mapping, how you can reflect? What are you going to reflect on? Mapping is very important. Then we introduce student self-management, where students, they are active, they are responsible for different things in the classrooms, including teaching and learning. This is important. And by the end of the day, we have special reflection circle, and we have this kind of diaries. And every day, children, they reflect on different levels of intellectual, emotional, social, on the skills, what they learned or what they didn't learn, so that they can understand what is the next step and plan next morning or during the morning circles. Also, every day, if you just imagine it, every day you can just ask, what new ideas do I have? So that, and we connect it, obviously, we have sustainable city projects and everything, so that a child can, in different ways, like making some different kind of these drawings, can reflect even, let's say, this child, I just took we borrowed this diary, PE. Child enjoyed, physical education, and so even in this case, so different ways of reflecting of how my day was. And another thing is that we have it in our report. And our report card was shifted from status to understanding dynamics. And we have different ideas for that, because the dynamic of the process is very important. And we have different criteria in our report cards where we identify where a child, how he or she goes, improving, needs help, what kind of help, some extra time, help of some peer support, or from teacher or parents, different conditions. And we map this so that for a child, for the parent, and also for team members, in the class, it is clear how we can just design the activity so that this child can continue, can overcome some difficulties or whatever, or can help the others. So that this is very important to even, because it's not just, just talks, we just follow it. And another thing that about the working model, because I'm really very proud of that we have started here. These things we have, as I already spoke about student self-management, students, they manage everything in the class, and we have group leaders, and we have special diaries with questions with group leaders that are on a rotation basis. So each child can and will be a group leader, and we have such questions like, let's say, challenges and solutions of the team. So reflection is not only on a personal level, but on a level of interaction, on a level of leadership and guidance. Let's say group dynamic. Just imagine if you ask a second grade student about group dynamic, you just need to observe how the group works with different perspectives. It's very important. And group dynamic from academic point of view, emotional or personal growth. So that when you start giving, even you see, it shifts the perspective. If as I'm, let's say I'm a leader, and I'm given these questions every day, I need to reflect on that. I need, let's say you are in my team, I need to think about the emotional level. Why you didn't perform well or something was there. So I'm very attentive to that person. I start seeing another people with their differences, with their, challenges and solutions. So future goals of the group, so planning, everything is there. So we're doing that. It will take time, but if every day we just go through this structure, it's important, structured reflection. So hopefully, and we can see the level of children worked in our classes, let's say for 1 year. Last year we had a pilot project, and we could see children, they think differently, they manage things. And it's very, very, I'm very happy to see that they can manage, they can communicate with each other, and they can ask absolutely different questions, and they are free to think, to live, to feel. So this is, I think, the real the goal of the education system that we need to bring back, because always education was about people, not about grades, not about jobs, but about people. So right now our time is just nearly over. Now I think that we can continue this kind of sessions, answering your questions with the next series will be on spirituality and education. Also interesting. Level of questions we will have, I think. So, and Kamalji, if you have some, following our challenge, let's say for parents, can you just request it for parents? How would you say for parents to prepare them for different types of assessment when they are waiting for grades? What is the challenge?
As a parent, I always can suggest to work to you. हमारा इंटेंशन बहुत बढ़िया होता है बच्चों के लिए करने के लिए. इंटेंशन और एक्शन में हमारा, हम अपने आप को राइट मान के करते हैं. बच्चा भी जो करता राइट मान, तो 3 से 6 साल तक के 8 साल तक के पेरेंट हैं, पर बच्चे जो भी करता है गलती नहीं करता, उसके पीछे उसका कोई रीजन होता है. तो रिजल्ट पे टॉप करें और उसको गलत न ठहराए. तो वो गलत ठहराने के मतलब हम अपना ही उसको दे रहे हैं, उसको तो डेवलप ग्रोथ होने के लिए दे रहे हैं. तो एक तो ये चैलेंज हो सकता है कि हम जब भी हमारा कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हो बच्चे से, उसमें देखेंगे उसका वो क्यों कर रहा है, वो कुछ न कुछ अपने को राइट मान के कर रहा है, वो रॉन्ग होता ही नहीं. हमारे हस्बैंड वाइफ में भी दोनों में डिफरेंस होते हैं सेम एक्ट को लेके. तो इसका मतलब हम अपनी मान्यता बिलीफ सिस्टम में उस पर डालना चाहते हैं. दूसरा, हमें देखें हमें कितना फियर ऑफ ग्रीड है. हम फियर ग्रीड के साथ जीना तो नहीं चाहते. तो उस फियर ग्रीड आया कहां से? तो देखेंगे एजुकेशन सिस्टम, असेसमेंट सिस्टम से आया. तब हम चेंज हो पाएंगे अपने बच्चों के लिए. इंटेंशन बदलना चाहिए. तो अपने फियर ग्रीड देखें, हमें बढ़ रहा है, कम हो रहा है, देखिए.
And I will just give one advice for the parents. Why I speak about parents? Because here at school we manage this. But parents also need to try to do it at home. When your child comes from school, at least just try for 1 month. Forget about quantity and focus on quality. Do not ask any questions regarding how much did you get. Forget about numbers. At least for 1 week, for 1 month. Try to ask questions related to quality, to your child engagement, to problems your child faces.